Welcome one, welcome all, and thank you for joining me for this gathering of a game I just made up called Oh My God, Who Said That? Where I will I will give you a quote from a mysterious person. And hey, and Cam, hello everybody coming in. Thanks for being here. Come on in. Come on in. You know why? You know why? Because we are gonna have a
Ribbig shoe. Ribbig.
and we're gonna break some chains. So I'm very glad to see you all here. So I'm in a minute, I'm going to play it. I'm going to show you a quote from a mysterious person. And I'm going to give you a minute to guess who said that thing. And then we're going to play the evidence of that thing being said. And of course, many of the things said are from Craig and Brittney, but there are also a lot of other speakers to guess from. So it's either usually Craig or Brittney or another person that you'll be surprised about. And it's rarely another creator. It's always, you know, the types of people that you really don't the types of people that you need to kind of question. If I'm saying the same types of things as these people, if I use the same kind of reasoning and logic as these people, there might be something wrong. But first, oh, Kimmy Kale, thank you for being a member for 10 months and helping me to continue to break those chains. Welcome, everybody coming in. All right. So we are going to play that game. But first, I have a couple of short video presentations to give you before that. All right. So, did anyone catch the other day, a couple nights ago, something like that? That'll be the right answer on many occasions, Darzilla, but not always. And you might be surprised who else said that same thing. Hello, everybody. All right. So, did anyone catch the other night that Brittney unironically played the Leave Brittney Alone video about Britney Spears? And as she was playing it, she was laughing at the person who was having the mental breakdown and saying, leave Brittney alone. So she's laughing at it. While in the chat, people are saying, oh my God, it's too loud. And they're also saying, by the way, Brittney's like, oh, this is a parody. This is a parody. And these other people are like, in the chat are like, no, it's not a parody. This person was having a mental crisis. And also, Reality was in the chat saying, too loud. She's giving me a headache way too much. So I'm watching this in absolute, just dumbfoundedness, thinking, how many times have we heard Reality scream the same things on behalf of her Brittney? Okay. So I couldn't not interweave these videos with each other. And I'm going to play this for you. And I want you to, as I play this, I want you to watch the chat. And what this just displays is like 5 levels of lack of self-awareness. Okay. Because you got Brittney laughing at somebody who is saying, leave Brittney alone, while her co-host regularly screams, leave Brittney alone. And that never seems to be a laughing matter, right? So the missing of the human cues are just not there. And in most cases, while she's doing all of this, while she's doing all of this, she's speaking on some true crime case that she's about to snore over in a few minutes, right? So let's, with that all said, let's watch this real quickly.
And how fucking dare anyone out there make fun of Brittney after all she's been through?
Leave Brittney alone. She's been through enough.
She lost her aunt. She went through a divorce.
Like
she had 2 fucking kids. Her husband turned out to be a user, a cheater, and now she's going through a custody battle.
Do you not understand that baby is going through stress? Because you all just can't leave her alone. Don't tell me to shut up. You can go kick rocks.
All you people care about is readers and making money off of her. She's a human.
You trolls need to wake up and stop. Stop. Enough.
What you don't realize is that Brittney's making you all this money, and all you do is write a bunch of crap about her. She hasn't performed on stage in years. Her song is called Give Me More for a reason, because all you people want is more. Leave her alone.
So Brittney has watched this video so many times that she can even recite it along with him, who is now a her. Oh, thank you, Beachy Keen. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, I by the way, I did share this video with my members before showing it here. So they got to see this first. So let's watch this.
Oh, no.
Quit doing this to her. There were people that were paying attention. You people stop this. Oh my God, stop.
You're lucky she even performed for you, bastard. Leave Brittney alone.
You hear Brittney laughing there? It's just so funny. It's so funny, but is it funny when reality is having a fucking conniption for her? Do you understand? There's literally not a thought that goes from one second to the other of, have I ever contradicted what I'm doing now? Am I being royally insensitive to like 50,000 people who are about to watch this? You know, I'm very much exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying.
I want Sebastian home.
Please.
Stop. I just wish I could hug you, Brittney.
Perez Hilton talked about professionalism and said if Brittney was a professional, she would have pulled it off no matter what. Speaking of professionalism, when is it professional to publicly bash someone who's going through a hard time? Leave Brittney alone!
Leave Brittney alone!
Leave!
You bastards!
It's gross behavior. I'm not doing this to get attention.
Leave Britney Spears alone right now.
You can all go screw yourselves, okay? Grow up and act like adults. If you want me to fucking yell, I'll fucking yell, bitch! Don't tell me to calm down. I am tired of them coming after Brit.
I mean it. Anyone who has a problem with her, you deal with me.
Because you all stuck your nose in her business and you're trying to destroy your life.
Because she's not well right now.
It hurts because it shouldn't be happening to begin with. Be honest, it should not be happening. I am so sorry that they keep doing this to you. Breaking my heart. Stop.
Leave her alone.
Why do they hate her so much?
Do you guys remember that?
You bastards. So that was back in like 2011, 2010, 2000. Reality, he wasn't serious. Like it was a parody. Like he was being, he was being, it wasn't real.
I don't let things bother me.
These are things you want to see. Kick rocks. That's me.
All right. So that kind of loosely goes along with the theme of what we're talking about here, is that people say this loosely goes along the theme. Who said leave Brittney alone? Was it reality, or was it the leave Brittney alone person, many years ago? Now, let me just give you a little bit of information about the person, okay? Then, because some people were asking in chat, so I knew that this would answer your question. The 2007 Leave Brittney Alone video by Chris Crocker was not originally a parody. It was a sincere, emotional defense of Britney Spears. While it was heavily mocked, parodied by others, and seen as a joke at the time, Crocker has maintained that it was a genuine plea for empathy during the singer's public mental health crisis. Okay, so it was not a parody, but Britney. So the funny thing is that then somebody in Brittany's chat says that was not a parody, and she's like, no, it was a parody. And then she's like, oh, I gotta look this up. I gotta see if this is a parody or not. So she looks it up and reads the whole thing and says, and it never says it's a parody. She actually reads the description that says it was real. And then she doesn't even admit, fucking admit that she was wrong. Now, just so you all know, Chris Crocker, I don't know her new name, but at the time, so Chris Crocker was a male and then transitioned to female. So Chris Crocker is I don't know the person's, her name, her new name. But anyway, that's the background on that. So what was going on is that, Brittany's sitting there doing the mocking thing, which is what everybody did. And then later people figured out, hey, this was sincere. And not only was Britney Spears going through, never, never. Not only was she mocking what Britney Spears was going through, but she's also mocking the person on camera having a meltdown about the same thing. Right? So anyway, I just wanted to show you all that. The irony, but also I would like to recognize some member milestones. We got J-Dub with 12 months. Oh my God. You've been here a full year, and I've had a full year of memberships. Woo woo. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Thank you also for being a member for 3 months, Jen6868. And for you, Sasha McLean, member for 12 months. Thank you all so very much. And also, I did see you saying in chat, be nice, try it, that your debit card, it happens to the best of us. If you come back and member up again, that'll be I will be the one that's privileged and honored. You don't even have to explain those types of things. So hello, Shifty Poo. So, and everybody else in the chat, thank you for being here. So there's one other thing I want to show you before we get to our game. All right. And now this is a little bit heavier and a little bit, more triggering for sure. So a trigger warning here. But before I get to that, Akira, thank you very, very, very much for the 20 gifted memberships. You've gifted me again, you sweet person. And so you get this. And you also get this
Rubik shoe.
that I'm about to present to you. But thank you very much. So, and welcome to the people who just got a membership due to Akira. All right. So as I was making the video for our game, it was impossible to go through my clips without coming across many clips of Craig saying really graphic sexual things in conversation. You know, like he's just weaving it in there every time he's in some common conversation, or even every time Brittney's, you know, talking about true crime, he's sitting in the background saying things like, I'll lick your pussy and shit like that, right? And I kept having to cut those out so that I could, you know, focus on the material. But I decided these are like cutting room floor clips, and there's a lot of them. And it just made me wonder, what should I think about a person? A man, a person, whoever, any person who constantly weaves graphic hypersexual comments into every conversation. And so here I'm going to play some of those clips, and I'm going to show you the answer that AI gave me. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I agree with what AI, like, it squared with my perception of it. And I think it's important chain breaking information to know. But also, I want to thank you, Darzilla, for the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you very, very much. I'm a lucky girl to have you all in my chat, for sure. So let's watch. Trigger warning.
Did you mean to say singer?
Thanks, Bobby.
Sure.
I'll lick your pussy.
Oh my God.
All right, so I'm going to read this to you right now. So because it's really hard to read it and listen at the same time. So I'm going to read this to you, okay? Dealing with someone who relentlessly weaves hypersexual comments into every conversation is exhausting and frankly a massive violation of social and personal boundaries. When someone uses language like this, especially phrases designed to be shocking or graphic, it is rarely about humor or misunderstanding. Here's a breakdown of how to frame this behavior in your mind, really. It is a power play, not a conversation. This behavior is often a form of sexual harassment or boundary testing. By forcing graphic imagery into a mundane chat, he is asserting control over the interaction. He is essentially saying that this is the most important part to me right here, okay? He's essentially saying that his sexual impulses are more important than your comfort or the actual topic at hand. Him saying that never has anything to do with the topic at hand. Ever, ever, ever. He's always throwing it out there, not thinking about the context whatsoever, because he just wants to fucking, you know, he is so sexually impulsive that he needs to voice it. It has to come out of his mouth. Right? So let's see. Lack of consent. Consent, this was actually kind of new to me, and like a new way of thinking about it, but it's true. So hear this out, okay? Consent isn't just about physical touch. It also applies to the psychological space of a conversation. By using phrases like, I'll lick your, you know what, and I have a big one, he's forcing you into a sexualized scenario without your permission. This is a red flag for how he views consent in other areas of life. That's very important too. Because if he knows, and this isn't just about Craig and Brittney, this is about anybody having this type of a conversation. Because if he knows that you're uncomfortable with it, and you've actually outright said, please don't do that, it makes me uncomfortable, and he keeps doing it, then he doesn't give a shit about your consent, and he will take away your consent in other areas. I mean, that's his line of thinking. You have to follow that line of thinking through, and that's a lot of about what this game is about that we're about to play. You have to think through that line of thinking. And that line of thinking is, I don't have to get your consent to make you uncomfortable. So what type of person makes that a hard boundary? A lot of people do make it a hard boundary. I won't go past the psychological discomfort, but other people will. Okay. So you have to learn, and we're going to keep playing the video a little bit because this is going to scroll down and I'm going to read you more of what this says. Okay.
Could have watched the ball drop. You can watch these balls drop on your chin. What? Because my dick is 3 to 4 sizes.
No.
Fuck you in the ass.
No.
You're the one that likes the cream.
Correct. Oh, not all clowns juggle.
Well, you juggle these balls. What do you?
Stop being perfect.
You have some of my member.
Oh,
Again, all inside edition saying
Big Dick Daddy.
here's my link.
You can play with my link.
Stop.
In respect to R&B artists now, looking back, they are.
All right. So I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to stop it there and continue to read. So the testing phase. Often people who do this are gauging your reaction to see what they can get away with. If you laugh nervously, didn't you hear just a lot of nervous laughter? He views it as a green light. If you ignore it, he views it as permission to continue. If you get angry, he may play the victim and claim you can't take a joke, a common gaslighting tactic. So how do you respond? How do you respond? Yes, she just laughs every time. And you know what she was doing when Seth Rogers was sitting on her panel with his missing son's avatar in front of him, pretending to masturbate? She giggled and laughed. And she giggled and laughed while disgusting shit like that was being done on her panel for an hour, over an hour. So let me continue reading this. So how to respond if you choose to. You are under no obligation to fix the behavior, but if you want to address it directly before cutting contact, you can, and this isn't necessarily for Brittney. This is for anybody who experiences this type of thing. You may want to address it directly before cutting contact. You can use the gray rock method or the radical pivot. The clinical call out, that was a graphic quote. That was a graphic and inappropriate thing to say. Why do you think that's okay to share with me? This puts social awkwardness back on him. The hard boundary. I am not interested in sexual conversations with you. If you continue to make these comments, I'm going to end this conversation. And then the total disengage. So yes, Seth did do that. So so this is basically the end of this video. But again, I didn't set out to make this video. I see why you say that, Beach Boy, but I don't see it as in exactly the same way. I would agree that there are some times when she's come very, very close, but not in every single practically every single time she opens her mouth. But she can defend herself. I'm not here to defend Clue. She doesn't need me to defend her. And I'm not even here to talk about Clue or other creators. I'm here to talk about Brittney, Craig, and the other people that get brought up in this video. All right. So, let's see. I'm just looking at chat because I know that I was not looking at chat for a minute. After coming across BJ and Craig the past 2 years, it has made me more grateful every day goes by for my own grown sons and daughter-in-laws. Mine would never get on the internet. Yep, same here. I was actually just talking about that with my son yesterday. I had a fantastic visit with my son. And we were talking about, not about internet stuff, but we were talking about how we feel so grateful that we wouldn't treat people the way we see a lot of people on the internet be treated. Or treat other people, right? So, sorry, I'm just looking at chat because I know. Ghoulie Ghoul says, I think overt sexual behavior is usually associated with immaturity and also being emotionally stunted. Yep, that can definitely be it. It shows his inability to understand time and space for such comments. Absolutely. And that is a maturity level thing. Like, understanding your situational awareness comes with maturity, you know, and sometimes people just don't want to mature. They don't care. But the effect on the listener the effect on the listener has to be taken into account, you know. And the effect on the listener is, dude, don't keep taking your sexual impulses, lack of ability to control your sexual impulses out on me in our conversation every day. And, you know, it'd be one thing if he was just doing that in his home alone with Brittney and not on the internet, but he's doing it on the internet every single fucking time. And I personally believe, I don't know this for sure, but I personally believe that he actually does it to exert his manhood, to basically mark his territory, to pee all over the place. He may not do that every single time he's in a conversation with Brittney, but he has to do it when he's on the public internet to, you know, assert some sort of machismo. And it's really, really distasteful. And especially when you're doing it to an all female audience, or at least a 99% female audience, right? Thank you for saying that, Tragedy, and good to see you, and hope you have a good nap. So that, honestly, this is the most serious part of our stream today. And I didn't set out to make that video, but I kept, as I'm making the, you know, who said that game, I'm having to pull all of these out, you know, and so that we don't have to constantly hear his fucking, you know, hypersexual bullshit, right? So anyway, with all of that said, let's get to our main event of, oh my God, who said that? Are you ready? Now, I am going to start out with a little bit of shameless self-promotion, but you may not know who said this, right? So as I said earlier, in case you missed it, here's how we're going to do this. Okay. I'm going to say, who said this? I'm going to give you the quote. I'm going to say, who said this? And you're going to hear this buffer playing, and while I let you guess in the chat. Okay. So you're going to hear this buffer.
Who said that? Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that?
Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
So when she says, I'm awake, baby, that's the end of that buffer. It's a sound buffer. All right. So take a guess. Who said this? Is that the actual breaking chains? Is that the actual? I mean, imagine how flattered I felt when I heard somebody saying, is that the actual breaking chains in your chat? Great show. And this was like a year ago or something like that, maybe 2 years ago. Who said this? Around 2 years ago ish. People are saying reality. No, she would never say that. I love some of your guesses. Nope, it wasn't reality. Who said it? Who said that? All right, you've been given enough time. Oh, nope, it wasn't BHB. Nope. Not NC. Nope. Moon. Nope. Oh, you guys are so Queen. Nope, it's not Queen. It's not Boston. It's not Lana. It's not B Tim. Nope. Oh, you guys, you're disappointing me. Okay, so it's not a creator. Let me put it that way. There's your hint. It's not a YouTuber. It's not somebody that we know because we know them because of YouTube, but not they're not a YouTuber. Nope, not Laura. Is that the actual breaking chains in your chat? Great show. All right, I'm gonna play it. Nope, not Pink, not Ivy League. Nope, not Roro. It's not a person we know from the YouTube community. It's someone outside of the. All right, I'm gonna give you one more hint. Nope, not Melissa Jade. Oh my God. Lip locked. Girl. You're on your way to the big prize for I've told Lip Locked has it. I've pinned it on the screen there. I don't know if anybody heard it before did, but yup. Take a listen.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
Is that breaking chains in your chat, Bunny? Like the actual breaking chains?
Yeah, that's breaking chains.
Great show, by the way. Sorry.
Oh,
I know that's so far off, but great show.
Good job, Lip Locked. You are on your way to the grand prize. And you know what the grand prize is, Lip Locked? Whoever gets the most guesses correct, you get to send me $50,000. Congratulations! That will be the grand prize. So that's what you get to work toward, is sending me $50,000. Okay. So here. All right. Who said this, y'all? Who said this? Everyone in the world knows that I would never hurt anyone. I never hurt anyone in my whole entire life. Who said that? All right, let's hear the buffer.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
All right. Take some guesses. All right, there's Craig, Reality. Nope. I don't know if Lemon. Nope. Lemon didn't say it. Nope. Everyone in the world knows that I would never hurt anyone. I never hurt anyone in my whole entire life. Seth. Nope. Not BJ. Not Bullhorn. Nope. Clue. Nope. All right, I'm going to play it.
Did you ever think you'd have the title of convicted serial killer?
No, do I?
Well, for people.
I mean, I guess you could technically say that, but everyone in the world knows that I didn't hurt anyone. I've never hurt anyone in my whole entire life.
Who said that?
Lori Daybell. Now, who else says that practically every single day? Who else do you hear saying that practically every single day? Brittney, Craig, mostly Brittney. Now, she's famous for, you don't know me. How could you think that I could ever do such a thing? So BJ does say that, but also that line of thinking is shared with Lori Vallow. Okay, so let's play the next one.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
So why is it
So I messed this one up, but guess who else said that? Guess who else said something just like that? You don't know me. Why would you think I could do such a thing? You don't know me. You don't know me. Isn't that an interesting common theme? You don't know me. How could you ever think I could do such a thing?
Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
So why is it you all think that y'all don't know me? You don't know me. Nope.
You don't know me. You don't know me. How could you ever know me? How could you think that I
would do something like that, especially having a 9-year-old son?
So there you go. Sure. Well, okay. Let me give you this big general clue. Okay. It's either BJ, Craig, or somebody in true crime, an actual criminal. It's rarely. There's a couple where it's not BJ or Craig or the original, but I will help you along the way. I'll give you hints. Okay. So, all right. Who says this? Who trusts me? I can be evil as well. Who said this? Any guesses? Any guesses? Shauna, thank you very much for being a member for 12 months. Letitia, nope, not Letitia. Psychopath and BJ. Yes, Harley. Ding, 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 ding.
Said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
Trust me. I could be evil as well, but
Yep. Ding, 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 ding. You are on your way to being able to send me $50,000. So keep playing. That's your grand prize. All right. Who said this? She has this tactic where she talks to everybody in the chat. She engaged chat so much you felt like you weren't just watching, you were interacting with her. So, yep. That's an easy pickings. That's an easy pickings. Let's play it.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
She has this tactic where she will talk to everybody in the chat, right? One of the main things that made me like her so much was she would engage with chat so much that you didn't feel like you were watching somebody so much as you were interacting with them and having a conversation.
Who said that?
So we got some definite OGs in here. We got some definite OGs who picked that out from the gate. Some of you are wrong, some of you are right, but good job. You are well on your way to sending me and $50,000. And who knows, there might be a 5-way tie and I get 5 times 50,000. All right, who said this? I used to look for girls like that because they easy to manipulate. Get what you want, move on. Up. Larry Craig Jackson. Yeah. You guys, y'all are too smart.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
I used to look for girls like that because they're easy to manipulate. You give them a little attention they want, say nice things to them, you get what you want, and you move on. Never call her again. It's a weak woman.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
All right. Who said this? I'm going to need this bitch like Play-Doh in my hands. Who made this tough talk? Not Craig? Not Papa Bear? Not Queen? Nope. Nope. No BJ. Oh, yes. Sorry. Lip Lock got it, but now I've lost her chat. I think it was Lip Lock too. No, it was Grits. Grits got it. Here we go.
I am going to need this bitch in my hand like Play-Doh for a couple days and give her back what she's been giving to me. Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
All right. You guys are too smart. You guys are too smart for me. But be on your toes. Be on your toes. Yep, that was about Laura. Who said this? A man's job is to protect his family, and a man can impregnate a female. Female is supposed to take care of the children. Oh, lip locked. You are getting very, very close to sending me maybe even $500,000. I think that might be worth 5,000. Okay, let's keep going.
There's 2 jobs in the world, maybe 3, but a man's job is to protect his family, and a man can impregnate a female. A female is supposed to take care of their children.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
Oh. All right, I'm just going to play this one because it's so obvious. That's what a man wants most. I think we know this one. So I'll just play it.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
That's what a man wants the most.
Yeah.
He wants that sweetness, that femininity. That's what makes you a special creature. You got children, men and women. What makes you special as a woman?
Yeah.
You should bring that sugar to the table.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
Who said this? No. Well, you know what? He may have said that. Lemon may have said that, but who am I quoting? Well, what you're going to actually say is two different people saying a very similar thing. One is Craig and one is another person, and you're going to see it right now.
You're just a cum dumpster.
Lines of thinking. Lines of thinking. Are you looking at the screen there? Oh, Lorton girl, thank you for becoming a new member. And welcome to helping us break those chains. Lines of thinking. Ways of thinking. So he said it. She wrote it. All right, let's keep going.
Oh my Lord, Craig. Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
You don't know anything about our lives or what we do day to day. Who said that? Now, aren't these starting to sound very familiar? I don't cover Granny. So I'm sorry, Shanny. I don't cover Shanny, so I wouldn't know that one. Grits. Let's see who said it.
You don't know anything about our lives or how they were or what we were doing in the temple.
Yours?
What we were doing in the temple every single day.
While you were in the temple while Tammy was still alive, you were in the temple with Chad.
Several times, yes.
Right. So.
And nobody was asking me what's happening. Nobody asked Chad
Well, I tried
what was
to.
happening. Well, what Jesus told me, he calls it the Great Divide. What do you think he's doing with it?
I don't know, but
He's teaching people not to judge.
So most of you guessed that BJ said it, but yes, you're right. BJ says it all the time. But now listen, now you have to admit that Lori Vallow is a far more persuasive, far more of a force of nature. Yeah, Nate was very patient, which was his job. But she's a force of nature, Lori, and you see it in this video. It's really disgusting. But watch how she dominates. She's also a dominator of conversations. That's her. So listen.
Don't judge something. You weren't there. You don't know what happened. Don't judge.
Now, you hear Brittney saying those. You hear Brittney saying those things all the time. You weren't there. You weren't. You don't know. You don't know me. Now, can you imagine the line of thinking that Lori Vallow has to have to actually still believe that shit? Right? Well, Brittney's in the same category. She's constantly saying, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know. No, we don't know. We do see, right? So who said this? End times. That's what it's about. End times. Did Chad say that? I'm sure he did say that at some point, but it's not this time. Who said this about end times? All right, let's go.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
End times. That's what it's about. Absolute end times.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
All right. Who said, I will have you destroyed? Craig? Maybe. Right. It's hard to, that's the entire reason I'm doing this. When you can't tell whether the person saying it is a normal, quote unquote, person who calls himself normal on YouTube and a fucking serial killer who's a cult leader, you have to think about that. Whose voice, Solo? I'm going to have to play voices here. So if that's a problem, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to play voices here. All right. So who said this? Nope. There are no Tony Mathises in here. Condolences to his family. There is nothing literally about Tony Mathis in here. So you can not make that guess. Okay. Maybe turn it down or don't listen, Solo, but there's nothing I can do. I'm going to be playing these voices.
He was on the phone with me today when she said, "I will have you destroyed," is what she said there.
Okay, that's not a threat to kill you.
Yesterday was a threat to kill me.
Okay. What did she say yesterday?
She said, "You're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers."
Okay.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
I'll pray for your ass, but I'm gonna pray for God to destroy you. I'm gonna pray. That's what I'm praying for.
Yep. Good to see you. Difficult research. And yes, rest in peace, Charles. If those police would have believed Charles Vallow, we may not have had 4 murders. Okay. So now we just heard Craig saying the same thing, basically.
Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
I'll pray for your ass, but I'm gonna pray for God to destroy you. I'm gonna pray. That's what I'm praying for.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
All right, who said this? Y'all are demonically possessed or something. It's like you have a zombie plague. Is there something I'm doing to creep you out, or is it just with what just the video? If there's something I can do to make it better, let me know. But I'm not trying to creep people out here. So just letting you know. But yes, and I'm sorry. Some of this is creepy. Some of it is funny. Some of it is, it's just eye-opening, honestly. And some of it is actually ridiculous. So whoever is saying, BJ, you are right. It is BJ who said, you are demonically possessed or something. It's like you have a zombie plague. Yeah. Yeah. And that's exactly what I'm getting to. Okay. I was just making sure. I wasn't sure if there was something else going on in the chat. So it is disturbing. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this is, triggering. I really do. And I'm sorry for the, annoying voices, but this is the material we have to work with. So, all right.
You people are, I'm not kidding.
So here I grouped them up, and you see here that a quote from Lori Vallow's case. Okay. Melanie Gibb heard Vallow Daybell call Tylee a zombie after Tylee had refused to babysit JJ, to which Tylee replied, "Not me, Mom." According to the affidavit, Gibb said Vallow Daybell later concluded that JJ had also become a zombie. Okay. So listen to Brittney.
Y'all were demonically possessed. It's like you've been bitten by something. I'm not kidding. Y'all were demonically possessed. It's like you've been bitten by something. It's like y'all have a zombie plague. Oh, and it's just taken over your brains. Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
Who said you're just jealous? Oh, you're just jealous. You know why? Yep, that's true. That's true. They want more of their money, so they can't be quiverful, right? Exactly. And that's actually in these clips, basically. But who said, you're just jealous? You're just jealous. Reality or Laura Clue? No. Who do you hear constantly saying? So remember, just so you all know, once again, the answer is always going to be either Brittney or Craig or somebody in true crime, but not another creator. And if it is another creator, I'll let you know, just to make it fair. Okay. No, nobody is right yet. Let me show it to you.
At one point, Jim Bob told you were jealous. He said, Jim Bob, I would not trade places with you for $1 bazillion.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
So that was an interview with the friends of the former friends of the Duggars. And basically what you were seeing there is that after that friend, Jim Holt, testified against Josh Duggar, Jim Bob Duggar said, you're just jealous. You're just jealous. So once again, all right, now who said this? Respect me, I'll respect you back. You don't, I'll fucking slap you. Yep. Let's play it.
Respect me, I respect you back. You don't, I'll fucking slap you.
Well, there's just no reason. Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
All right. So who said this then? Who said this? Maybe now that I've shoved that paper slap down your throat, you'll poop it out for the next week. Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. Hey, UA, I'm going to give you a hint. This is not... this is another creator. This is another creator that is not BJ or Craig. Who said this? And it's not... It's a RICO plaintiff. A RICO plaintiff said this. Any guesses? Nope, not Lana. Nope. Close. Yes, you got it. UA got it. You are that much closer to sending me $75,000 for the grand prize.
Now that I shoved that piece of paper slap down your throat, hopefully you poop it out for the next week.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
Well, you got the answer here already. Another person said something very similar. You know who it was? Ike Turner. Ike Turner. He said, yeah, I hit her, but I didn't hit her more than the average guy beats his wife. I'd slap her or something like that, but I didn't beat her. So interesting how similar people talk about slapping people. Oh, I just slap them. Slapping, that's okay. No problem with that. All right, let's keep going.
Who said that? Who said that?
I think you guys know who said this. I'm just going to let it play. What did it? Sorry, I'm looking at something real quick. Oh, that's nice, Music City Mom. How fun. I hope you have a great night. I'm looking for something else. Sorry, we'll keep going very, very momentarily here. Thank you all for being here. Lauren called Tylee a bitch on the day that they showed the kids' autopsies in court. What the fuck? What the fuck? Where did she say that, Kresha? Fucking A, man. Oh. Music City Mom, don't... I won't ignore it. I won't ignore it, girl. Love you, mean it too. Thank you so much for the super chat. Here, let me grab that right now. Your milestone hasn't popped up. Oh, there it is. Oh my God. You're one of the 12-month OGs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. You all are amazing. And all I have to say about you is
Wow. Wow. Wow.
wow. Wow. Thank you for being a friend. She said it at the trial. Ah, man. Jesus Christ. All right. I think you all know. Oh, thank you for becoming a member, Kathy P. Oh. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. You know who said this. Let's keep playing.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
Fucking 3 hours. I slapped my fucking teacher in the face. Fucking
No, stop. You would not. Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
Who said that? Thank you for becoming a new member. 58 Fabulous. Thank you very much. Who said this? I didn't do anything that deserves this kind of punishment. Not BJ. Well, she has. She has said it. That's a good guess. That's a good guess, Muscles. Sarah Boone, that's a good guess. We got a lot of BJs. I don't see anybody guessing it yet. Up. Screenshot this. You got it.
And I didn't do anything that deserves this kind of punishment.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
I think you know who said this, right? I'm going to bet. So listen, I'm going to isolate this one particular thing. So the last comment was Lori Vallow. Okay. The last comment was Lori Vallow saying, I didn't deserve anything I didn't do anything to deserve this punishment. Okay. All right. Do you see the level of delusion? Now, I am not saying that Brittney has the same level of delusion as Lori Vallow to the extent that she would use it as an excuse to murder her children like Lori Vallow did. I am not saying that. But I'm saying that it belongs in the same category of thinking when you constantly say, I've never done anything that deserves this kind of punishment, when you have absolutely no idea the effect, that you have no recognition, acknowledgement, or accountability for your effect of what you do to other people, right? It's the same line of thinking. And it's also the same lying to other people. It's just, it's a line to other people. But in this particular clip, listen to what she says, because there's a controversy going on right now about, or not a controversy, but a discussion, a healthy discussion going on about who called CPS on Brittney. Who's one of the, we know that Dark Horse called CPS on Brittney, but she keeps claiming that all the CPS calls that she's been getting are generated from YouTube, all of them. But I have been, and other people have been divining that it was actually the school that called. And as I was going through clips for this video, I found this one, and I think it is very illuminating. Listen.
What, like my kid, he loves school this year. He's doing amazing
this year.
And you want to fucking call and bother him.
Hear that? Did you hear that? Why would she say, and you want to fucking call and bother him right after talking about how fun school is for him right now, if the school didn't call? You're literally saying here, you are literally saying here that the school called that the somebody called the school, or somebody from the school called. You are involving school here in the conversation. Leakage, exactly, Muscles. Big leakage. Let's listen to that again.
I'm awake, baby.
So again, she says he loves school this year. He's doing amazing. And you want to fucking call and bother him and fuck with it.
What, like my kid?
And that's what you didn't hear when I just played it again was and fuck with it. So let's listen to the whole clip again.
He loves school this year. He's doing amazing
This year.
and you want to fucking call and bother him and fuck with it.
And fuck with it. That was major. That was leakage that became Niagara Falls. That's what she's constantly doing. And I think, this also might be a good time for me to address Brittney's whole question of, why don't you like me? What have I ever done? I'm going to give an answer that, you guys in chat can tell me whether you agree or you disagree, but my answer is a bit general, but also, I believe, accurate and precise. It's not just one thing, Brittney. It is that you show consistently low character. You are a person of low character. People don't like people of low character. And when you do show that low character on the internet day after day after day, people are going to comment on that low character. People who don't know you, people who've never met you. If you show low character on the internet, they're not going to like you. Here are the attributes of low character: lack of integrity, transactional relationships, selfishness and greed, lack of responsibility, arrogance and control, emotional immaturity, negativity and gossip. And you check off every single one of those. You engage in every single one of those behaviors, and people don't like that. So you operate from this framework of mind that everybody in the world, especially you, has the right to be liked and has the right for other people to see them in the best light. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So it grieves you so much that people don't see you the way you want them to see you, that you think that there's something wrong with us, or that you're the center of the universe and we're targeting you because we get some sort of money out of it. No, you are a person of low character. So you make for good internet fodder for other people to criticize you and review you. Nobody's targeting you. Nobody's harassing you. I mean, not that I personally see, but I can't speak for everybody. I am not asking for anybody to harass you. I don't want people to harass you. But if you consistently show low character, people are going to talk about you. Okay. So let me just see if I've missed anything in the chat before we continue to go on. No. All right. I'll keep looking. Hello. Sorry if I've missed any really important things said in chat. I am watching. I'm just also trying to operate the video as well. Okay, let's keep going.
Who said that?
Who said, I don't think he did it, about Brian Koberger? Who said this? Now, there's a few people that fit in this category. Let's just play it. Yep, you're right, Kathy.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
I'm awake, baby.
I don't know. I don't think he did it.
All right, you guys are right. You know her pretty well, at least what she's done on the internet. Yes, you are correct, and Cam, both of them. But Lana would never actually come out and say it like Brittney did. Lana would never actually say that. That's too much of a commitment. She has to keep people hanging, right? But she's going to defend him to the ends of the earth and do a documentary about him and raise money for a documentary that will never come out, right? Anyway, I just saw In Excess. Nailed it, Lynn. So what do you call a person that supports that type of person besides an enabler? Many things, but enabler is probably the most dead on. But thank you very much for the super chat. Yeah, it's possible. But here's the thing. I agree with this, that it could be people besides Dark Horse that called CPS. But here's the thing. We will never know. We'll never know unless those people tell us themselves, right? And you are right, Grits. You guessed it. Ding, 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 ding. You too, K-Berg. Ding, 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 ding. You are well on your way to owing me $100,000 because you won. Okay. So anyway, I was talking about this. We'll never know. So it's honestly futile to argue about it. Well, the only way we'll ever know, like we did with Dark Horse, is if they come out and self-disclose. And no, Craig and Brittney are not going to be able to sue to get the names of the people because the calls were legitimate. They did open cases. They unless there's something I don't know about, that another loophole that I'm not aware of, because please be aware, I'm not a lawyer, but still. All right. Everybody's saying Betty is correct, so let's play it.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
You know, I have those opinions, but whenever I have an opinion, I get arrested in this county. So I'm trying over here. No, I'm just joking.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
You know who said this. You know who said this. I should be able to say what I want on the internet without people getting mad about it. But I'm going to show you another parallel, an interesting and unexpected parallel to that thought process, right? Listen to this.
I should be able to come on my channel and talk about what I want to talk about without having other people, putting you down about it.
I said to you in the last interview, is like one of the great conflicts of my life is that I like to do and make whatever I want and then have no one ever be mad about it. And I remember once saying that to my parents and my mom being like, well, that's actually the most self-aware thing you've ever said.
I was actually shocked to watch this interview with Lena Dunham. Now, if you don't know who Lena Dunham is, this girl has been thoroughly canceled because of the dumb shit that she has said as a public figure. Okay. And she basically, and she is exactly, that's the actual point. She's actually, it's a self-admitted flaw. It's a self-admitted flaw. This is Lena Dunham, right? Who did some really, really fucking wacky things as a public figure. And she's saying, I hadn't seen her in a long time either. And Cam, I was actually surprised. Lena Dunham is, there was a really popular show in the early 2000s called Girls, where Adam Driver was her boyfriend. And in the show, it was a very popular show that she wrote and directed. So she's an insanely talented person, but she's also insanely she found herself in a position of really not having matured to a level where she could handle the public scrutiny. And that's exactly. And this is the general consensus about this girl is she's insufferable, but Girls, the show was amazing, right? Okay. So the idea is that she's admitting that, she wanted to be able to just go all along in life, do what she wanted and not get criticism. Nobody has that right. Nobody has that right, okay? Including you, Brittney. We don't owe you like a plastic bubble, like the boy in the plastic bubble. You don't get like some big immunity clause about being criticized on the internet when you're a fucking public figure. You don't get that, but you complain about it day after day after day. It's crazy. All right, enough with that one. Let's go.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
Who said this? You all are going to shut your damn internet down your damn man, I can't speak right now. You all are going to shut down your damn internet when I get through with you. That's a good guess, Craig, but it's not Craig. He has said variations of that thing, but there's somebody else on that channel who said it. All right, I'm going to play it. Nobody's guessing yet. You don't get to send me $150,000.
You all are going to shut down your damn internet when I let you. Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
All right, who said this? We defended her, even when at times she was clearly nodding out. Not Moon? Yeah, I know. I do have cotton mouth. Not Jones and nope. It's rarely going to be other creators, you guys. Besides Brittney and Craig. Nope, it's not. Boston is not any one of these choices. None of it. Nana is not any one of these choices. Angela is not any one of these choices. Nope. I'll play it for you.
And defended her, even when times she was clearly nodding out.
Who said that?
It was BJ. That was the point. And Cam, that's why I picked that one out. That's why I picked that one out. Is because all of her ex-mods could be the ones who have said that. Right? Hi, Tara. All of her ex-mods could be the ones that said that. But nope, there's Brittney saying that. Okay? Let's hear it again.
And when times she was clearly nodding out.
She was saying we defended her. And she was talking about another person from Crama. You know, that she got mad that this person started doing lives about her. So, yep, she is constantly projecting. I've never seen a bigger projector. She's like the IMAX of projection, right? I mean, geez. All right, who said this? Her mods obviously do all the work for her, and what she has now is people engage in drama. Who said this? No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't reading a comment. She was talking about another person. Her mods obviously do all the work for her. Ding, 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 ding. Let's play it.
Said that?
Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
Her mods, obviously, I'm preaching to the choir, does all the work for her. And what she has now are people that are engaged in the drama.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
So that was Brittney saying that about. Nope, that was Brittney saying that about Natasha. Exactly, UA. That's correct. Interesting how the people say the same things about and to each other. All right, who said this? I don't consider myself a racist. I don't hate other people's. I certainly want to preserve my own, and I think that's true of all people. A lot of people are guessing Craig. It's not Craig. Any other guesses before I show it? That's right, Navigator. Certainly did. But she's picked everything up, but she'll, you know, in 2021, she was criticizing it. Nope. Moon is never the answer. I will never platform her in that way. It's not Moon. Nope. I will not platform Moon in that way. No fucking way. She doesn't deserve a platform. It does sound like a Craigie thing to say. Are you ready? Let's go. That is very astute of you to say. He's not that smart. See, that it's a little more intelligent than Craig would say, right? But you could picture the whole point of this exercise is it's hard to tell who said this, right? Because it's in the same line of thinking that we've heard out of their mouth. All right, I'm going to play it because none of you are going to guess it. It was David Duke. David Duke. You know who David Duke is? Probably one of our nation's most notorious racists. Now, the audio that you're hearing is, yep, that's right, 58. The audio that you're hearing is over and over and over Craig saying, but I am playing one clip over and over, all right? And it's Craig saying, you're a disgrace to our people. You're a disgrace to our people. You're a disgrace. Now, I looked up who else has said something similar to, you know, you're a disgrace to our people. And this is what came up is David Duke saying, I'm not a racist. Now, all these people who are notorious racists who go out there and push a very racist agenda say the same types of things. Okay, I'll show this again.
That. Who said that? I'm a white baby.
And that was in the same live where he said, why don't you be professional white people? But everybody knows he said that, so I couldn't put it in a I couldn't put it as a question because everybody who watches my channel, or mostly everybody who watches my channel, knows that he said that. All right, let's go to the next one.
Who said that? 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 I'm a white baby.
Anybody who says they don't lie are lying. I'm sorry if, you know, I do realize that this is probably confusing. I do. I as I was putting this together, and everybody who's saying BJ is absolutely correct. If there's a way for me to make it less confusing, let me know. I don't want to confuse you, but I also realized as I was putting it together that people might be confused, especially if they're coming in the middle of it. So, yeah, that's true. So let's keep going. If there's something I can better do to explain it, I'll let you know. But what we're basically doing is I am putting up quotes from people. I'm letting you guess who said it, and then I'm giving you the answer. And the reason you keep hearing Brittney say, who said that? Who said that? Is because that's the buffer between the quotes. All right. All right.
Because I'm going to tell you now, anybody says they don't lie, they're lying.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm a white baby.
Who said this? It's a common female. It's a common female escape that once they can't win an argument, they cry. Yep. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
It's a common female
Damn.
escape that once they can't win an argument, they cry. You know what I mean?
Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm a white baby.
All right. Who thinks that Joseph Duggar is, rather than being prosecuted, is being persecuted? Who thinks that Joseph Duggar is being persecuted, which means that he's being wrongfully, I actually meant to look up the word persecuted. Let me look it up while you're here. Just persecuted. I want to make sure I have this definition correct. Persecuted. Individuals or groups subjected to persistent hostility, ill treatment, or discrimination, often based on race, religion, or beliefs. So, yes, you are correct. It is Craig, who believes that because of his religion, he's being targeted and discriminated against. Not because he actually did a terrible thing, but yes.
Yet they're acting like they are being persecuted. You know what I mean? When they
He is.
He is. There he goes.
She didn't. What'd she say?
Well, who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
All right, who said this? We thought the last jurisdiction of who we need to make things right with is the law. Any guesses? I don't think anybody's going to guess it. It's not BJ or Craig who said this. But isn't it interesting that you could picture them saying it, right? You could picture them saying that because this is the line of thinking of people who belong to churches and sects and cults and groups and entities that want to take matters into their own hands when something horrible happens to somebody, right? So, nope, it's not BHB. I'm going to play it for you because you aren't going to guess.
Tried to forgive him. He went back and asked those that he had offended to forgive him, but we felt like the last jurisdiction of who we need to make things right with was the law.
In the 2015 interview, Jim Bob spoke.
Who said?
There you go. Duggar said it. Of course. Of course. Right? Because that's what he did with Josh. But who else also said, and I didn't put it in here, but who else also said, well, I would put my kid in military school before I put them in juvenile. Now, part of that is in here, but it's the same line of thinking, right? And isn't it scary that you can't tell the separation of thought process? All right. So who said this? If you got yourself into a position to be AR'd, you must bear some responsibility. Nope, it wasn't Craig. But isn't it interesting that, he might say something like that? I don't think any of you are going to guess it. It hasn't been any of the, nobody, we have not discussed this person yet in this stream at all. And they are not a YouTube, well, they are a creator, but a massive one. Yes, an idiot said that. Note to self. Definitely an idiot said that. That's a good guess, 58 and fabulous. But let's watch.
That. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate. Now, do you want to, I think there are a lot of guys who belong to the same thought process as they actually get a lot of their thought process from Andrew Tate and people like him. But right now, Andrew Tate has been indicted for a lot of major, horrible crimes. And he's a known misogynist. And we already know that Craig follows this line of thinking. Right? Oh, did he? I didn't hear that, big girl. I did not hear that. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. All right, let's do the next one.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby. Spiritually.
If my kid goes to juvenile, he's going to probably be molested and You know what I mean? It's going to ruin the rest of his life. If it was me, I would send him to a military school and probably just keep him there. I'd make him join the army.
Yeah, but then they're just going to go on and essay somebody there.
I just let that play through because, you know, I figure you guys pretty much knew that he was going to say that. But who said this? You know, Child and Family Services has been here and they didn't find anything. Of course not. We haven't done anything wrong. Who said this? Well, yeah, that is true that BJ did say that, but not in those words, right? Somebody else said it too. Well, Craig has said that, but not in those words, but it's not either one of them. It wasn't Lori Vallow. Close. This person has not been, Dumb and Dumber. This person has not been discussed on the show yet. Another new character, not Don Wells. That's actually not a bad guess. Actually, I'm sure he did say that at some point, right? All right, I'm gonna let you know. I don't think any of you are gonna guess this one. Here we go.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
Did you know that CPS has been here and they didn't find anything? Of course not. We're not doing wrong.
Samuel Bateman. Samuel Bateman. Now, if you have not watched this, documentary, it is really good. It's a documentary series. And yes, FLDS. He's smiling because he's a horrible person and he was getting away with it. So this is a really good documentary series about Samuel Bateman and the FLDS and how he started a new sect. He lied to tell Warren Jeffs supporters that Warren Jeffs is dead and he's the new prophet. And then he went and got 32 wives, and many of them were underage. And it is a very, very good documentary. It's on Netflix and it's called Trust Me. And it still should be running around in your new and popular tab. It's called Trust Me. The cult, I think it's the Cult of Samuel Bateman. But I watch all of these series. This is among the best because I'll just let you watch it. But he said CPS was here and they didn't see anything wrong. Guess who else said that?
For me, even when we went through the DHS investigation, they complimented my parents on what an amazing job they did through that process.
Who else said that they were complimented? Yep, just like Be Sweet. Who else said that they were complimented by DHS? Who else says that? That's right. That's a very common thing for them to do. I think I have the clip in here. No, actually, I didn't put it in here because it was a little hard to explain. But yes, BJ did say this thing here about I'd have 20 kids if I could afford it, right? But Sarah Boone also said, George's probation officer, my victim's probation officer, loved me. She complimented me about how good a job I'm doing with George. Yes, her house was adorable, right, Kenna? Her house is adorable. And these internet trolls are just, out of line. How dare they, right? Yep. And so it was really, honestly, this is why I put this together. This took a long time to put together. And it's because I knew I had seen other people saying the same thing, the patterns of thinking between people who, you don't want the same pattern of thinking of Sarah Boone. And I'm sure Sarah Boone got compliments on her haircut too. That's funny. When you hear the same types of thinking and the same reasonings and rationales and justification coming out of several people's mouth, that's a red flag. It's a red flag if you have the same line of thinking as Sarah Boone or Lori Vallow, right? Okay.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
By the time you're 23, you already had 3 kids.
And what's your point? What's your point? I'd have 20 if I could afford it. Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
Okay. Who said this? Lower value. I know. I started to say lower vallow. Lower value, Lori Vallow. That is such a much better name for Lori Vallow is lower value. I love it. Welcome people coming in. Thanks for being here. Welcome. Let me make sure I haven't missed any. I don't think so. Kenna, did I get your milestone? You've been here 9 months, Kenna. Thank you very much. I think people were trying to remind me in the chat and I missed it. So thank you very much for being a member for 9 months. Thanks for having a baby with me. I hope it's like you. I hope he looks like you. Just kidding. Thank you. All right. An asshole said that. Okay. I don't think you guys are going to guess this one because it's not anyone we have discussed yet. It wasn't a Duggar. Nope. Okay. An infamous truth teller. You've been a member for 4 months. Thank you very much. And I meant to tell you, in my last stream, you made a string of comments, in the chat that were super insightful in infamous truth teller. And I was thinking, man, I wish I didn't miss those during the live because they were really insightful. So thank you for your contribution here and for being here and helping me break those chains. All right. Oh my God, Meg. Boom, boom. You get the grand prize just for picking that out. The grand prize is sending me $1 million. You owe me $1 million for getting that right, Meg. Are you ready?
What do you mean I don't treat you like a woman? I treat you like a woman. I let you sew, I let you cook, I let you wash the windows, I let you clean up. Boys don't do that, Alice.
To the moon, Alice. To the moon. Yep. Pal right in the canal. You guys would have guessed that. Pal right in the kisser. So were you just guessing when you said that? Because it was a really good guess. All right. Who said Seth first about this one? Let me see here. Yep, I think maybe Kathy is the one who said Seth. Yep, that's right. Here we go. Now you're not going to be hearing Seth say this. You're going to be hearing Bullhorn Betty behind Nonsense's avatar. Yes, he did. Listen to this.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
We got him. He goes, damn, my son has more bitches than me.
That's it right there. So that's been wiped off the internet, of course, but Nonsense had it and I grabbed it from Nonsense. Now, I will say that At Night came out immediately after this and said, they tried to gaslight. They basically gaslight. Yes, that was Bullhorn Betty saying that Seth said that. That's right. All right, let's go to the next one.
Teasing that he's got a bunch of girlfriends.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
So when you hear Brittney break in and say, who said that? That's your cue to look at the next comment. All right. That's your cue. Good guess. Oh, who said Seth? Now, you're not going to hear Seth saying this, What you're going to hear is Crabtree saying that Seth said this. So here we go.
To most people. Dude, every word out of his mouth is some disgusting, disturbing motherfucking thing talking about, oh, that straw, I got a straw for you to suck on. Put in your mouth. Let me put a piece of meat in your mouth.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
All right. Yep, it was at the Red Robin when that was said to somebody. Now, who said this? You are a piece of shit, you pink-haired little bitch. Nope, not Craig. I don't think you're going to guess it. It's a deep cut. It's a deep cut. You ready for it? Let's listen.
You are a piece of shit, you pink-haired little bitch.
That was Bullhorn Betty talking to Jack and Lily's mother's friend. Wait, you're guessing who? What are you saying that what about Cletus? So Cletus and Clue are never going to be an answer in here. Not Sinner. It was Craig. Yes, y'all. Everybody who's guessing Craig. Let's go.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
You like my Nerf gun? You like my little Nerf gun and my child hair? Huh? You like that Nerf gun? What a pawn. You like my Nerf gun? Do you like my Nerf gun? Huh? You like that Nerf gun? I got some big Nerf guns right here too. I got plenty of fucking Nerf guns around here.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby. Oh, she had a loaded gun in her house. Do you know how many other people in this world have loaded guns in their house? I promise you that's not isolated.
I grew up with them around me.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
Man, oh man, I messed that one up. You want war? We'll give you war. Well, yes, Craig said that. Craig did say that, but so did Hong.
You want war? We'll give you war.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Who said you, as far as I'm concerned, could be a Preto? Who said that? Yeah, trigger warning. Nope. All right, let's watch it.
Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
Because you, as far as I'm concerned, could be a pedo.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
I played it, note to self. It was Betty. And so, did you guess that 58 Fabulous before? Yep, you did know it. You got it. She said that about Julie, actually. That was what she said about Julie. All right. Who said this one? You are correct, Crafting. Let's just play it. Well, let's just play it. You'll hear it.
Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
Yeah, wish you would. It is. It has become an addiction for all of us, not just my kids, for all of us.
Leakage.
What, the internet? For humanity, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, think about it.
What is that?
We don't even get a break from it. I'm listening to YouTube while I'm driving down the road.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Look, we got a new member. Welcome, Leah Harp. Leah Harp. Sorry if I got that wrong. Yeah, another mouthful. In like half of the ones where she's the clip, her mouth is fucking full. Who was on who was big on two platforms? Big on YouTube and Twitter. Everybody who's guessing Natasha is less close to sending me their 401k. It's Craig. You're right.
I'm awake, baby.
Because I was big on two platforms.
I know.
I was big on YouTube and Twitter.
I know. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Who said they like to hurt children and then eat them? Yeah, you're right. It was Craig.
I'm awake, baby.
And we can't discuss it here. It has
They
to be
like to hurt children and then eat them.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Who said that Brittney is an evil twat waffle? Who said that? Nope. Nope. Gemma. Gemma's like, I did. Not Nick. Nope. Not Lemon. All right. Let me show you.
I'm awake, baby. That part on Titanic when the boat goes up.
Oh, I remember this.
And the man falls in. I cannot help it. The most comical shit to me, and Craig thinks I'm ridiculous for it, is when the man hits the propeller.
That's not funny.
And the dude.
You know what? I'm going to play it through, but it's the wrong clip. Bad editing error. Sorry, guys. I think I took this. I thought I had took this clip out because this is not funny. And also, everybody knows that she said this. All right. I'll play it through, but trigger warning. She's going to talk about how the Titanic made her laugh when the people were falling and the propeller hit the guy. So that's what she talks about.
Goes, woo, 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 woo.
I remember that movie.
Brittany, I can't believe you said that.
Brittney J is an evil twat waffle.
See, as you can see, I had only meant to include the evil twat waffle part. So, but that whole scenario just astounds me. Not only because it was really late at night and they get off on this tangent and they say, and she makes this really sick joke about, a human tragedy. And then, in the meantime, she has fucking Seth Rogers on the screen in the middle of this ridiculous conversation in the middle of the night. Of course, disgusting. This is what I talk about with low character. It takes a person with low character to be sitting there with a missing child's father on the screen, giving an interview. Okay, thank you. I can't wait. Giving an interview to Court TV, and she breaks away to tell about. She knew it was a true story. Yes, she did, 58. But to talk about this, that's her priority in life, is talking, bringing up some really sick imagery while Seth Rogers talks about his missing kid. Good job. All right, let's keep going.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Who said this? When I get upset, I do things that people with a conscience would not do. Conscience would not do. Yeah, I was glad Nana called her out for that. I mean, Nana had situational awareness, you know? Who said this? That's a good guess. It's a good guess that Manson or Boone or Laura said this. Those are good those are all good guesses. But nope. None of you have guessed yet, so let's go.
Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
When I get upset, like I do things that I would say people have a conscience won't do. Okay. Like, let's just leave it at that. Okay.
Hong. And, you know, his Twitter timeline proves that. If you look at his Twitter timeline, you think to yourself, what the fuck kind of person is behind this Twitter timeline? It's disgusting. He is disgusting. And it is a threat. It is a threat. Absolutely. All right. Let's go to the next one. It's not very Christian, but I hope that bitch dies. Who said that? Who said that? Yep, that's true, and Cam. I missed your... The chat is jumping. Darn it. Yes, that's true. Well, let's see if anybody's guessed. Yep, it was Craig.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
You're Christian life, but I hope that bitch dies.
Craig, no, you can't. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
All right. The answer to this question, the speaker of this comment has not been brought up yet in this video. I've asked myself if I would do anything differently, and I wouldn't have. So this is not Brittney or Craig. Nope. Well, here's the thing. The person who said this thing specifically was not Brittney or Craig, but you have heard them say the same types of things. Yeah, that's true. Actually, Jay did say that. Lana has said that. Nick has said that. Many people who don't take accountability, who do horrible things in plain sight and then say, well, I don't regret it. It's none of the people you're guessing. So let's just watch.
Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
To leave their son at school and not take him home. Within hours of that meeting, their son would kill 4 students and injure 7 other people while traumatizing the entire high school.
I've asked myself if I would have done anything differently, and I wouldn't have.
There you go. Jennifer Crumbly. The woman who was convicted of second degree murder for enabling her child to conduct a school shooting. She wouldn't do anything different. But isn't it interesting? Yeah, I actually streamed that trial on another channel. That was a really, really riveting trial. And heartbreaking. But isn't it interesting that you could actually see Brittney or Craig or people like her saying that? Do you want to belong in the group of people that thinks this way? I know. Isn't that crazy, NCAM? All right, let's go to the... So who said that this is going to be historical? And anyone who thinks they're going to win on this is sadly mistaken. Was it Nick? Nope, it wasn't Nick. Let's listen to this.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
Well, this is going to be historical. And anybody who thinks they're going to win on this, they're sadly mistaken. You have no chance, to be honest.
It was reality. It was reality. Koresh, That's a good guess. Koresh. Historical. Yep. Reality said it. All right, let's keep going. And this was about the Rico.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said?
Okay, who said this? Yeah, she was referencing the Rico. You are correct. BJ said this.
Said that. I'm awake, baby. You can see the devil in her eyes, man. This is an evil bitch right here. This bride doesn't have human emotions. I don't think she's a human, personally. I really don't. Who said that?
Smoke Joe, thank you for becoming a new member. I have a vague memory of you maybe becoming a member before. So if you're rejoining, thank you for rejoining. But if not, thank you for being a new member. Who said this? She got one eye over there and one eye over here. Craig, nope, not Craig. You have not seen this person yet. It's not Kim. Close. You're close, sis. You should have been a detective. It's close. You ready for it? It's not BJ. But BJ said something similar. Hello, welcome to people coming in. I'm sorry, I can't address every single one of you. Crafton is close too, but nope. All right, let's just watch it.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
She's got one eye over here and one eye over here.
Clue can look at the rear view mirror and the side mirror at the same time.
Oh, look at that. They both said it. Brittney and Natasha. They both said it. So that was more of just kind of a silly one. But who said this one? Watch her on a regular night and there's no drama and see how bored she is. Who said this? And you get to send me even more money if you guess who she said this about, who it is and who they said it about. Okay, BJ, it's BJ. Who did she say it about? Nope, not QB, not nonsense. Nope. Let's watch.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
Watch Natasha on a regular night where there's no drama and see how bored she is.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
She was saying it about Natasha. I'm glad you're having fun. I know some of it is heavy and it's disturbing, but I am also trying to make it, not completely heavy the whole time. So again, the audacity, I know. So who said that you're ovulating? That's dangerous. Who said that? This is a deep cut, y'all. This is a deep cut. I will try, Tara Boom. I will try. Man, this took a lot of fucking work, man. A lot of work. I agree, Harley. That's kind of the point. All right. Nope. You haven't guessed it. Let's listen.
Yeah. Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby. Wait a minute. Baby, I can't take it much longer. It's getting stronger and stronger.
Like you're ovulating.
When I
That's
get
dangerous.
that.
Hear that? On June 20th. You're ovulating. That's dangerous. You don't know just how dangerous that is. Yes, very uncomfortable. All right, let's get to the next one.
Healing? No, that is the sexual healing, Sam. But I'm telling you, there's a song. There's a song. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
I'm pretty sure you all know who said this, but go ahead, put your guesses in the chat. My channel never blew up off the Summer Wells case. Yep, you're right. BJ.
Who said that? I'm awake, baby. I am going to cover Summer Wells for her anniversary, but
she never did.
I haven't. My channel never blew up off that case. I covered it a few times.
That's what she needs. Like, I don't remember that.
We did.
Greedy, grubby bitch.
It wasn't benefiting us to do that one.
No, I didn't make a bunch off of that.
Summer Wells is not your like currency, not your chum, your little piece of meat to throw out and say, Summer Wells is coming, when she's not coming. Especially when you say your channel didn't blow up on it, you asshole. This still pisses me off. And you know who had the biggest problem with it? Jay. I guess, did that change? There's been no remorse, no accountability, nothing like that. A bad explanation. Let's go to the next one.
At all. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
All right. Alcohol is a shitty thing. It's alcohol. Not Craig. But we have heard Brittney and Craig. Oh, blue giraffes pulling it out. You are closer to sending me your IRA and your retirement pension, everything, by pulling that one out of your hat. Be sure to check out my pay link so you can send me that $500,000.
Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
And you went up to bed.
Alcohol is a shitty thing. It's alcohol. So not, again, the reason that you killed him. You all?
Please sit down.
Listen to me.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
It was Sarah Boone who said that last thing. So good job. Good job. Get ready to wire me everything you own because you won that one. All right. Who said breathe, girl, breathe? You sound like you're going to pop a blood vessel. Yep, you're right. You're right.
Who said that? I'm awake, baby. Breathe, girl. Breathe. You sound like you're going to freaking pop a blood vessel. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
All right, who said this? Yep, I agree with that. Who said this? He was waving a gun around, saying you need to kill yourself. Yep, it was BJ. Who was she talking about? Who was she talking about? Let's watch.
Who said that? I'm awake, baby. Waving a gun around while saying that you need to kill yourself. Who said?
Isn't that interesting? Isn't it? You know, it's a terrible thing in Brittney's mind. Terrible thing in Brittney's mind for someone to wave a gun around and say, go kill yourself. But as you're going to see next, you know, Craig admits to waving a gun on TikTok. And we've also heard him wish people dead, pray to destroy people, wish they get throat cancer, right? So we're starting one more time. We're on a thread of similar thought. Oh, you do wave your gun around.
Who said that? 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 I'm awake, baby.
Hey, look, I waved a gun on fucking TikTok.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
I asked myself if I would do anything differently, and I wouldn't have. And guess what? this is another editing error because we already watched this. But double points to you. You get to send me double the grand prize winnings if you guess again. If you remember who said this, we've already watched this clip. Editing error. Remember who said it? Nobody's guessing? Who said this? Nope, it wasn't Boone. Nope, not Lori. Let's watch.
Said that. I'm awake, baby.
Oh, so yeah, so the editing error in this one is actually what she said here. I didn't change the quote. So I'm very sorry. If this is confusing, that's my fault, this part right here. So the quote that you're actually supposed to guess about that Jennifer Crumbly actually said is, LOL, I'm not mad. You have to learn not to get caught. Now, if I were to ask you who said you have to learn not to get caught, would you have a problem? You know, if you can imagine Brittney or Craig saying something like that, right? Oh, your avatar. Let me look. Tara Boom. Yes. Good job. You got it. I'm reading your avatar and it is profound and life-changing. Let me tell you. All right. Sorry for that editing error. Like I said, this was quite the job to put in order.
I've asked myself if I would have done anything differently, and I wouldn't have.
Who said that?
You know who said this.
Said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby. One of my New Year's resolutions is to work on punctuality. Is that right? Is that right? Is that the right word? I don't even know anymore. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
All right, who said this? Oh, I'm sorry I missed that, Tara. Sorry. Just juggling a lot here. All right. Who said this? She lied like a fly with a booger in its eye. Yes, Nana. Me? Oh, man. Yes, Nana. Nana gets that prize. You now owe me $500 for getting that one right.
Who said that? I'm awake, baby. She lied like a fly with a booger in its eye.
Yeah. She even cracked herself up on that one. All right, it's rich, right? It's very rich to say she lied like a fly with a booger in its eye.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
So who said the Lord is using us as instruments in his hand? Who do you think said that? It is somebody that we have shown. It's not Craig, but it is somebody that we have shown so far. So BJ and Craig have said that, but it's not the right answer. Isn't that interesting? It's not Seth. Tara's being all general. That's weak. That's a cop-out. Cult leader, Tara. That's a cop-out. All right, let's go. Nobody's guessing, but I forget. Yeah. Oh, note to self, Lori. You got it. Oops.
Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
Right? The Lord is using Chad and I right now, and this is what he's told us, as instruments in his hands.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said?
It was Lori. Who said she plays a really good game of victimization? You felt sorry for her. Who said that? Yeah, I'm so glad she's behind bars too. She belongs there forever and ever and ever and ever. Nope, Lauren Mathias isn't the answer. Yes, Grits. You know.
Said that. I'm awake, baby.
She plays a really good game of victimization, right? When she started in on Brittney, MCF, when Brittney lashed out at her, it was as if Brittney just attacked her for no reason. And when all of the pictures and stuff were shown, you felt sorry for her.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
There you go. That was actually on the what the clip you just heard was from the Recliner channel, the Recliner Survivors channel. All right. So who said this? Are you the first one to say, Lori? Because you're right, Crafting. Did anybody else say, Lori, about this one? Because Crafting, you now owe me $1,253.55.
Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
The victims that you call victims are not victims. Tammy died of natural causes.
Now, that same line of thinking, you hear people of Brittney and Craig's ilk saying those victims are not victims. Keep watching.
Which coroner are you talking about? The one the state put on?
Brenda died, the county coroner.
Okay.
Who said she was asphyxiated. So aren't her kids victims?
Okay, no.
She just refuses. There can't be any victim but me. I'm the victim.
Do her kids feel like they're victims? No, they don't.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
It is alarming, right? The same line of thinking. How are you going to get mad about us speaking about a situation that you told us about? Sorry, Airlands. It's just a way to separate the quotes. And I know it's a little bit irritating, but who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I know it's a little irritating, but I needed to find a way to separate the quotes. Nope. It's not Brittney. You are correct. You are correct. But imagine Brittney saying this to somebody else. Imagine this.
Who said that?
Well, you don't have to imagine it. You're seeing it now.
I'm awake, baby.
How are you going to get mad about us speaking on a situation that you told us all about it? You did. You put that in our faces.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
So we're, as you can tell, we're sort of like in the victim section, right? Thank you for being a member for 10 months, Blooming Kinder. Thank you very much. Let me see if I've missed any other ones. I think I've acknowledged everybody, but if I haven't acknowledged your milestone, please do not hesitate to let me know. It's very easy to miss things in the chat. All right. So, yep. Once again, BJ, who's she talking about in this one? You'll probably get it right away.
Who said that? I'm awake, baby.
She would bring it on herself, and then to us, she would act like she didn't understand why all of this was happening. And it was just so infuriating.
Isn't it weird to hear Brittney say the same things about somebody else that people say about her every damn day? So this is actually about Natasha. So Brittney is saying this about Natasha. I know that avatar is crazy. I know, right? You guys, the avatar is funny.
In and day out.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Who said this, y'all? This is on the thumbnail. Who said this? Who said this? Yes, K-Berg, you are right. Now, the actual clip is more graphic. It says more that I really didn't think was wise to put on a thumbnail. So here we go.
That I'm awake, baby.
I heard this story the other day. They said, you know where the origin of the witches riding the brooms come from?
So he's not just saying that that's what witches do. I would imagine that over the thousands and thousands and thousands of years that there are people going around calling themselves witches may have used inanimate objects to get off with their lesbian lover. But what he's basically saying is that the reason witches are depicted on broomsticks is because they were all lesbians using them as dildos to have relations. It is a really bizarre statement. And you were saying that you're hearing him say that he just heard somebody saying that, right? That goes to show you he doesn't leave his house. He doesn't, that we know of, talk to many people. He probably has a frame of reference of about 10 people that he talks to, on a semi-regular basis, right? That is a very small life. So you know that he's going into places on the internet where that type of thing is being said. And that's the type of thing that he literally chooses on a public broadcast during a true crime stream or whatever to say it. Okay?
Where?
It's sexual because
I
they
didn't
would
say anything
put
about
brooms between the legs
disturbing
and,
anything of that.
like, pretend like they were men with the other woman.
You're such a liar.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They would use the
Is that on
broomstick as a dildo.
reality?
Did you hear that? The last part was hard to hear over reality squawking again. But he says they use it as a dildo. Yeah, that just makes perfect fucking sense, Craig. It makes so much perfect sense that I feel enlightened by you bringing it to our attention on your true crime channel. That's right. Thank you, Craig. Now you owe me $300,000 for making me think about that.
That's why they can kick
They had
rocks.
lesbian relations with each other.
Who said that?
Now, who said this? Well, shit. I don't know. I always called it a grandma seizure. Hi, Adrian. Grandma seizure. Who called a grandma seizure a grandma seizure? You are correct, BJ. But it's funny. You got to hear it.
Said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I'm awake, baby. Grandma seizure is the worst one.
So not only is she saying, like, trying to drop knowledge and say, oh, the grandma seizure, it's the right one. It's kind of like her saying Darvo is Davos. Right? But she's trying to educate her audience and drop knowledge. And here she is saying the grandma seizure, that's the one that's the most, drastic. That's the worst one, the biggest one. Grandma. Right. And guess who corrects her?
Grand mal seizure.
That actually surprised me even more. That he's the one that knew. He actually immediately knew. Right? Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Oh. Now, once again, I want to make it extraordinarily clear. Okay, you guys? I never advocate for going real life on somebody. I am not advocating for anybody to take action on the things that you're hearing or seeing here. It's not our position to do that, okay? And I don't want that to happen. I just want you to see what we're dealing with here. It's an example, all right, of a true crime creator who's barely coherent every single night, dropping knowledge about the grand mal seizure, the dreaded grand mal seizure.
Is that what you mean?
Is it grand mal?
Grand mal.
I always thought it was grandma.
Grand mal seizure.
Oh, grandma
You're
seizure.
at least close to it, yeah. Grand mal seizure, Brittney.
Well, shit, I don't know. I've always called it a grandma seizure.
Okay, but.
And there you have it. We've been through our presentation. I hope this was edifying and enlightening and thought-provoking and a little bit funny. I'm sorry for the times that you were uncomfortable by continuously hearing Brittney's voice repetitively or anything like that. I meant this to be thought-provoking and fun. But I know that some of it wasn't fun. Yes, I am purposely using the word edifying. I almost used that in this clip, but anyway, I hope this kind of did what I meant for it to do, right? And it's to show that, and I'll be like dead honest with you. I'm always honest with you. I don't know why I start the phrase out that way, but one of the ways I realized that, like, I had some of this warped thinking at a perfect time and a previous time in my day as a younger person. I subscribed to some of this thinking, and certainly not to this extreme that I'm showing you. But the way I learned that my thinking was a little off was by observing other people, right? And thinking, oh, wait, am I actually thinking and believing in the same way as that person? I don't want to be like that person. You know, I don't want to be a person that communicates that you should be blamed for your own trauma. I don't want to be a person that puts people down. I don't want to be a person that dehumanizes people by calling them subhuman and evil, and then such that it could justify me doing anything to them that I want to. No. So, now let me think. I'm pretty sure that the person who owes me the most money for winning might be Grits. So I'm really, but somebody else told me they would send me their entire 401k. So my digits are on the screen. All you got to do is hit that Cash App avatar on the upper left, or hit one of these donations, and I'm looking forward to, or you can send me an email with all of your 401k login information, and I'll be happy to partake. But I don't grift. I'm not a grifter. I don't grift. Thank you, Crafting. All right, you guys. No, seriously, I so much enjoy having this time with you on, whenever I can go live. I'm sorry it took me a little longer than usual to go live, but I was working on this and I had some family stuff, fun family stuff. Yes, I do take crypto. In fact, I sell a very special crypto coin for anybody who actually believes that Brittney and Craig are normal, and that when Brittney goes to sleep every night, it's because she's having asthma or because she's pregnant, or, and that I have a special crypto coin for a very special rate, one time only, of $500 per coin. And it's going to blow up. As soon as you buy it, it's going to blow up. It's going to blow up. I swear it's going to, and I'm not going to pump and dump it at all. Monopoly money, that'll do in a pinch. That'll do in a pinch, Christy. Anyway, no, I do appreciate it. I will be live tomorrow. We are, yes, a meme coin. Absolutely. There's 599, and it's not scammy at all. I'm not scamming at all. No. Thank you for becoming a new member. Never say never. Tomorrow, me and my lovely co-reader will be live reading Jill Duggar's book, It's actually a good book so far. It's called Counting the Costs. And no, I'm a pumper and a dumper. No cult for me. A pumper and a dumper. Oh, wait. What? Oh, shit. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go so you can go check this out. That sounds serious. That sucks. I hope everybody's okay at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And in fact, I actually have several friends who would be at that dinner. So I'm going to log off here too. I'm going to go check it out. Thanks for breaking that news. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you very soon. Maybe tomorrow for our book reading. All right. See you all later. See you all later. Bye.
Dracarys.